Well, a good evening to all pro wrestling fans of all shapes and sizes from all around the world. Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So for this episode, wanted to talk about a couple of things. Wanted to talk about a couple of returns that have happened just over this week. And I also want to review Stardom to the World 2025, which is the only Stardom pay-per-view for this month. So, yeah, interesting, I know. But first off, I want to talk about the few returns that have happened. First off, shout out to a returning Riho. That's right. Riho has returned to AEW in the form of this week's earlier Dynamite. Mercedes Moné successfully defended the TBS Championship against Alex Windsor. There was a post-match attack with Mercedes on Alex Windsor after, well, technically she stopped the attack because Alex Windsor tried to show sportsmanship. Mercedes flipped her off, got attacked for it, but she pretty much hit her with the belt, locked her in the statement maker, and then Riho's music hits. She comes down, does the diving double foot stomp, and hits Mercedes with a drop kick, and then picks up her TBS championship and, takes a gander at it. And it's been made official that Mercedes will defend the TBS championship at All Out in Toronto against Riho. Now, when it comes to Riho, it's been a long time. As a matter of fact, her last match was against Lady Frost, and it was back in July of last year. It was on Collision, where she beat Lady Frost. That was the last match she had. She had dealt with injury plus visa issue. That now seems to be resolved. Not to mention, Riho looked like she kind of bulked up a little bit on the shoulders, She looked like she bulked up a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I couldn't have been the only one that noticed that. But, yeah. Welcome back, Riho. It's been forever. Of course, Riho, first AEW Women's World Champion, and now she actually has the opportunity. She'll have the opportunity at All Out to make history and become the first to hold both the TBS and the AEW Women's World Championship before. So, she has a chance to make history. I honestly don't think she'll beat Mercedes, but you never know. You never know. Also, congratulations to Athena. It is official. She has surpassed 1,000 days as ROH Women's World Champion. Not surprised there. I figure with the role that she's been on, I figured it was going to happen. Honestly, there's no telling who's going to dethrone Athena. I do have a feeling, I think she'll lose that final battle, but honestly, that's not even a sure thing with the role she's been on. I'm just saying. But we'll see what happens. And apparently, Dalton Castle returned via Collision recently. Dalton Castle, man, I haven't seen Dalton Castle in a hot minute. Cause he's been out a good while. But yeah, he just returned. As a matter of fact, his last match was July as well. of last year. It was against Dalton Castle. It was for they battled for the #1 contendership to the ROH World Title. So yeah, good to see that Dalton Castle has returned. But yeah, we'll see how things go there. But the really, really big one that really got everybody excited and hyped is, of course, this past SmackDown, the return of AJ That's right. It's official. It happened. To close out the show, AJ Lee returned, had a segment with Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, CM Punk, and AJ Lee. AJ Lee pretty much beat down Becky Lynch. Not only that, AJ Lee has put pen to paper, or as some say, ink to paper. She has signed a multi-year deal with the WWE. So she is back. Now, I'll say this. First off, hope everybody enjoyed the segment. Hope everybody's happy. Huge pop. Got a huge pop, for sure. Got a huge pop. And I think it's safe to say she must have fully recovered. She must have fully recovered. For her to go as far as to sign a multi-year contract with the WWE, yeah, she must have gotten treatment along the way, whenever that was, but she's pretty much made a full recover. That's the only conclusion that I can come to even warrant her inking this deal. Because otherwise, why would you sign such a deal if you weren't back? You know what I mean? So it must be obvious that she's made a full recovery enough to return to the ring. Now, the only thing, it's been 10 years. I know there's a lot of hype and whatnot, but it has been 10 years. So I'm really just hoping that she can shake off whatever rust that could be possible. You know, I'm not going to make any assumptions, but it has been 10 years. That's a long time. That's a long time. And I'm sure she's done her training and whatnot to get back into in-ring shape or whatnot, but it still doesn't change the fact it's been 10 years. So there's going to be that question of, you know, how will she do in her return? Remains to be seen, but one way or another, we're going to find out. And we're going to find out pretty soon. So, like I said, welcome back, AJ Lee, Dalton Castle, Riho. But definitely the biggest return was AJ Lee, for obvious reasons. But yeah, we'll see how things go. But just had to talk about those. Another thing I wanted to mention as well before we get into Stardom review. So, WWE is doing a super show in Japan on October 17th and 18th. And just recently announced for that, Julia. That's right. The WWE Women's United States Champion Julia will be on the card for the Super Show, WWE Super Show in Japan. Now, we have to also keep in mind that Grand Destiny, Marigold Grand Destiny 2025 is not until October 26th. So, if she could possibly, maybe she'll be able to stay an extra week. Because here's the thing. The 17th and 18th are the third Friday and Saturday of October. Grand Destiny is not until the 26th, which is the fourth Sunday in October. So, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Maybe some way, somehow, she can get booked for Grand Destiny. If maybe WWE will allow her to stay an extra week in a few days to do that. I think that'd be cool. But we'll see. We'll see. I think there's a chance that could happen. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure Kairi, Io, and probably Asuka will make the trip for obvious reasons. Now, as far as getting them on Grand Destiny 2025, Io, baby. Kairi, baby. Asuka, it's a long shot. It's a long shot, but you never know. You never know. The times over the years have changed greatly. Times have changed, so honestly, you never know. You never know. Also, congratulations. This was just brought to my attention. Congratulations to the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. It has been made official that going forward, he will be joining the AEW commentary team for Dynamite. Going forward. Full-time. Full-time AEW Dynamite commentary team. So, congratulations to Bryan Danielson. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's awesome. So, good stuff there. Okay. I think I pretty much got all of what I wanted to get out. Now, let's get to the main event. Stardom to the World 2025. Like I said, this was the only pay-per-view this month for Stardom, which is kind of weird. Just a little bit weird. But, I mean, after all, they just finished the 5-Star Grand Prix. Speaking of which, before we get into the actual show, we got to go over these Stardom 5-Star Grand Prix awards. So, let me pull up. I got them listed. So, we got a good handful of awards from this. So, let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pretty much 10 awards. So, let's go through each of them. So, for Red Stars A, Best Match was given to Saya Kamitani versus Seira. So that was the best. That was the best Red Stars A match. The best Red Stars B match was given to Natsuko Tora versus Rina. The best, which by the way, Saya Kamitani beat Seira. Rina beat Natsuko Tora. The best Blue Stars A match was given to Saori Ano versus Bozilla, which that ended in a time limit draw. And then the Blue Stars B best match went to Sari versus Konami, which Konami was able to win by submission kind of / referee stoppage. So those were your best block matches. Your best overall match, your overall best match of the tournament, they actually gave it to Azumi versus Rina in the semifinals, which was a very solid match. Definitely very enjoyable. So the award for best skill / technique went to Rina. And also the Fighting Spirit Award went to Rina. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rina, in her first 5-Star Grand Prix of her career, ended up not only going to the playoffs, but taking 4 awards. That's right. Best Red Stars B match, Best Overall match, Best Skill/Technique, and Fighting Spirit Award. What a tournament for Rina of H.A.T.E. So that can only mean that there's going to be some big things in Rina's future. So keep an eye out. She has leveled up tremendously, more and more and more and more. And I think it's only a matter of time. I don't know when, but it's only a matter of time where she's finally going to win the white belt and then eventually win the red belt. So it's only a matter of time, whenever that will be. Okay. The Outstanding Performance Award was given to Suzu Suzuki. And then, of course, your usual 5-star Grand Prix runner-up goes to Azumi. 5-star Grand Prix winner, Momo Watanabe. So, yeah, those are your Stardom 5-star awards for this year after they completed the 5-star Grand Prix. So, congratulations to each of the winners. But yeah, Rina took home 4. So, that's pretty big for her. Okay, so let's get to the actual show. Stardom to the World. This took place September 6th. This was at the Yokohama Budokan in Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan. They posted an attendance of 1,814 people. And we had a good number of matches. We had 3 championships on the line as well. So let's go ahead and let's jump into these matches. So they did do one pre-show match. Check it out. Got my graphics up. Alright. Check it out. Alrighty. So the pre-show match was a 3-way, a triple threat. You had Rian versus Akira Kurogane versus Fukigen Death. Now, this match wasn't too long. It was only a little over 5 minutes. Some nice back and forth action between Akira Kurogane and Rian. And it was really cool to see them kind of double team Fukigen Death as well. But surprisingly, Rian, that's right, Rian ended up getting the victory. She got the victory pinning Fukigen Death. That's right, pin Fukigen Death, doing that twisting death roll into a jackknife, and got the 3 count. She pinned Fukigen Death, and Rian is your winner. That was crazy. I did not expect her to win. Honestly, did not expect her to win. But hey, that's a big victory for Rian. Triple threat. Good stuff. So congrats to Rian on picking up the victory. That's awesome. And then she took Fukigen Death's magazine or newspaper or whatever. I think it was a magazine, but pretty much took it and ran off with it, and she got chased by Fukigen Death. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, Rian with the win. Good stuff. Okay. Now let's actually get into the main card. Alright, main card. First up, we had a run back. Had a singles match. Ema Maishima versus Rina. Okay, like I said, I'm glad that they did have this rematch. Match lasted 8 minutes 38 seconds. And you know what? Ema Maishima put up a really good fight. And not only that, she did hit her springboard crossbody. Kind of like how she won the match before, even though Rina was concussed. But this time, Rina kicked out, carried forward. But this was a good back and forth match. This was not an easy win for Rina. Ema Maishima definitely put up a great fight. She put up a really great fight. But eventually Rina hit the Pink Devil on Ema and then pinned her for the 1-2-3. So Rina, your winner. And a good sign of sportsmanship afterwards. They shook hands after the match, so thought that was pretty cool. But Rina got her win back, defeating Ema Maishima. Singles competition. Alright. Let's go to our next match. Okay, next up we had a tag team match where we had the Stardom New Blood Tag Team Champions. Of course, this was non-title action. But yeah, the champs, Rice or Bread, which are Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama, went up against the team of the High Kick Angel Aya Sakura and the rookie Kikyo Furukawa. Match was alright for the most part. Definitely Aya Sakura, had to pretty much carry her team. Match went 8 minutes 26 seconds. But Aya Sakura definitely held her own for the most part in this match. But it was pretty good back and forth. I really do like Kikyo Furukawa. I guess, really just, or actually Furusawa. Kikyo Furusawa. Sorry about that. But yeah, in all honesty, I like what I've seen from her, especially with her submission game. Definitely looking forward to see her add more to that. Definitely want to see her add more to that. So, but overall, I like what I've been seeing out of Kikyo Furusawa. But, HANAKO ended up picking up the victory, pinning Aya Sakura after hitting her with a JP coaster. Rice or Bread, your winners. Afterwards, Aya grabbed hold of one of the New Blood tag team title belts, because remember, her and Sayaka Kurara are looking to challenge for those New Blood tag team titles in the future. So definitely keep an eye on that. But Rice or Bread, your winners. Alrighty. Let's go to the next match, continuing with more tag team action. Check it out. Alrighty. We had the team of High Speed Champion Seira and Dark Silueta going up against Cosmic Angels of Yuna Mizumori and Sayaka Kurara. Good match for the most part, but it was, I would have loved to have seen a little bit more out of Sayaka Kurara in this match. Match went 9 minutes 43 seconds, so just under 10. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more out of Kurara, but I do understand that a lot of the focus was on Seira and Yuna Mizumori for obvious reasons. But for the most part, the match was still pretty solid. But Seira would get the upper hand and get some momentum as they will eventually have their high-speed championship match. Seira was able to pin Yuna Mizumori with the checkmate for the 1-2-3. Seira, Dark Silueta standing tall as your winners. But like I said, Yuna Mizumori still has a high-speed championship opportunity to look forward to. So keep an eye out. Okay. Let's go to our next match. We go from tag team to trios action. Check it out. Alrighty. So we had H.A.T.E versus Mi Vida Loca. Trios action. So for Mi Vida Loca, we had Bozilla, Izuki Aoki, and Rina Yamashita taking on H.A.T.E, made up of Azusa Inaba, Konami, and Momo Watanabe. So I really wish this match could have been a little longer. I mean, it was just a little over 10 minutes. I wish it could have been like 12 or 13 minutes, personally. But, I mean, the action was very much back and forth. And, of course, there were some H.A.T.E shenanigans. We saw the baseball bat come into play. Not only that, it's weird considering how the shenanigans come back, but when it all came down to it in the 5-Star Grand Prix finals, Momo Watanabe didn't want any of that. Didn't want any of that. But now, all of a sudden, it's cool with all the shenanigans. But, just had to point that out. Just had to point that out. But, the match was back and forth for the most part. It was kind of funny seeing Azusa Inaba try to, go at Bozilla with a flurry of strikes and whatnot, which didn't really phase her. But it would be Momo Watanabe getting the victory for H.A.T.E after she pinned Izuki Aoki with the Tequila Sunrise. H.A.T.E, you're winners. But yeah, I just wish the match could have lasted a little longer. Just a little longer. But not bad. Not bad. Alrighty. Let's go to our next match. We had 8-woman tag team action. You had Stars versus God's Eye. Representing Stars coming out each with their own fancy jacket. You had Momokogo, Sayaida, Hanan, Yurihime taking on God's Eye of Ranayagami, Kyoka Kotatsu, Hina, and Saki Kashima. Another pretty good match. Went a little over, just a little under 10.5 minutes. Good action from both teams. Saki Kashima, she kind of, ran interference kind of a little bit in the match, but she got her licks in. And, you know how Saki Kashima is, work smarter, not harder. And that's just what she did with her moments in this match. But, hey, it was still a very entertaining match from both teams. And it would be Hina. It would be Hina that would pick up the victory for God's Eye after she pinned Momokogo after hitting a jackhammer. So she hit the jackhammer and then pinned her for the 3 count. God's Eye, you're winners. But yeah, they stood tall. And then Yurihime got face to face with Hina because Yurihime wants a shot at that future Stardom Championship. So hey, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. She wants that future belt. But anyway, God's Eye, you're winners. Okay. Let's go to this next match. Here we go. Okay. We had a fatal 4-way tag team match where we had Fukuoka Double Crazy, that's Hazuki and Koguma, versus O2 line, that's Azumi and Miyu Amasaki, versus the Tokyo Reiwa, the Reiwa Tokyo Towers. I almost messed that up. Lady C Amisore, and Cosmic Angels, Saori Ano, Natsupoi. Now, this match had its funny moments, but it was too short. It was only 6 minutes, 25 seconds. This match was way too short. But I did like the funny moment when you had Koguma and Natsupoi and, oh my goodness, Miyu Amasaki do the Kuma. And of course, Amisori wanted no part of it. She was just like, nope, didn't even budge. And then when she didn't do the Kuma, Koguma attacked her and then chased her outside the ring, which that was pretty funny. Not only that, even Natsupoi tried to get Saori Ano to do the Kuma, and Saori Ano was like, you know, she pretty much had that, if you don't get away from me with that Kuma crap. Like, that was pretty much her whole demeanor. But this match was too short. This match was way too short. I would have loved for it to have been longer, at least over the 10-minute mark, but this match was way too short. So it was kind of a bummer for me. But Amisore would pick up the victory for her team, pinning Miyu Amasaki after hitting the Like Thunder. And yeah, looks like the Reiwa Tokyo Towers may be presenting a strong case for the upcoming 15th Goddess of Stardom Tag League. Who knows? I'm just saying. Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on them. But yeah, Reiwa Tokyo Towers, Amisore, Lady C, you're winners. Alright, let's get into the next match. And this next match got really crazy. Really, really wild. We had a singles match between Natsuko Tora of H.A.T.E and the founder of Oz Academy, Mayumi Ozaki. Okay. I was under the impression that this was supposed to be a normal match, and it definitely was not treated like a normal match. It lasted 12 minutes 43 seconds, but like Mayumi was using a dog collar chain. There was all the hate shenanigans and whatnot, and it was just like, I was thinking to myself, dang, ref, is this supposed to be a regular match or like a no DQ match? I mean, none of that was specified. You know what I mean? So it's just like, where's the disqualification? Like, clearly Mayumi was using that dog collar chain like the whole entire time, and just, you know, hate interfering. I mean, we had mist being used, and shout out to Mayumi Ozaki. She held her own against the rest of H.A.T.E, so that was pretty impressive. But I was just like, dang, is this supposed to be thought this was supposed to be a regular match. So, I don't know. It was wild. It was really wild. But, when it was all said and done, it took a bat strike from Momo Watanabe to Mayumi Ozaki, and then followed up with a Death Valley bomb by Natsuko Tora to finally put away 1, 2, 3. Finally put away Mayumi Ozaki. Natsuko Tora, your winner. But yeah, that match was all over the place. It was all over the place. And I thought it was supposed to be a normal match, but yeah. It wasn't treated like a normal match, that's for sure. Okay, let's get into some championship matches. All right, first up. Here we go. All right, we had the IWGP Women's Championship on the line as Seira, the Sun God, the champion, defended against the crazy girl, Suzu Suzuki. Solid, hard-hitting match from both of these ladies. Definitely a great follow-up from their 5-star Grand Prix match that ended in a draw. Both these ladies went 22 minutes, 33 seconds. Hard-hitting, back and forth. Inside the ring, outside the ring. Definitely went the distance. And it took a wrist clutch Uranagi to put away Suzu Suzuki for the 3 count. So that now makes Suzu 0-7 in singles title matches since losing the Regina de Wave Championship in 2022 to Hikaru Shida. 0-7. That's all of Stardom. Plus, remember, she competed in the U.S. And GCW for the JCW championship held by Masha. And she also competed for the, I believe it was the KOPW, or King of Pro Wrestling championship on that Great O'Khan had before that belt ended up getting retired. But yeah, y'all, that's 0-7 in singles title matches for Suzu Suzuki. That's kind of messed up. That's kind of messed up. Like, she seemed to be able to win tournaments. I mean, she won a Triangle Derby. She's won a Catch the Wave tournament. She's won a 5-star Grand Prix. But it's like, dang. Like, 0-7. And she's had a good number of singles title opportunities in that gap since 2022. So, I don't know what's up, really. I don't know if it's just one of those things where Stardom's just not confident in putting a singles title on her. Because, I mean, Suzu's still a great wrestler. She's still a great wrestler. And it's just like, so what? Okay, so what? So she gained a little bit of weight. So what? She still looks awesome. She still looks beautiful the way she looks. And I really hope that's not something that they're holding against her. Like, I think it would be really, really stupid and idiotic for them to do that. But it's just, I think it's kind of ridiculous that she's 0-7 in singles title opportunities. Like, I mean, it was even embarrassing to the point where when she was in Neo Genesis, like, she was the only one without a singles title. Everybody else. Or shoot, in general, actually. She was the only one that didn't have any gold. And that was pretty embarrassing. But then again, let's keep it real. Suzu never fit the Neo Genesis theme. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real. She's in a much better faction now. But, yeah, I'm actually bummed that she's 0-7 in singles title matches. Like, that needs to be fixed. They gotta fix that. Or something. They gotta fix that. But how? When? No idea. Okay. Let's keep going. Next match. This was actually my favorite match of the card. All right. This was for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. This was another rematch from the 5-Star Grand Prix. As the champion, Starlight Kid defended against Tomoka Inaba. Like I said, rematch from the 5-Star Grand Prix where Tomoka Inaba actually made Starlight Kid tap out to the heel hook. But they're running it back, this time with the belt on the line. Match went 21 minutes, 15 seconds. It was excellent. Definitely continued where they left off. The intensity was there. Very physical, even traded submissions. Like, the crowd was definitely all over this one, and rightfully so. But yeah, Tomoka Inaba made an excellent effort, but came up a little short. Starlight Kid was able to get some revenge and got a submission victory on Tomoka Inaba, the Black Tiger leg killer. And just like that, that is now Starlight Kid's 6th successful defense of the Wonder of Stardom Championship. But yeah, got her revenge. She's still your champ. And honestly, she's been on a roll. She has been on a roll. I mean, dethroning Natsupoi at Stardom Dream Queendom last year, beating Rina, Konami, Azumi, Hanako, Sari Ano, and now Tomoka Inaba. Starlight Kid's been on a roll. She has definitely been on a roll. So, we'll see what happens. You know, see who they may build up next to challenge for the white belt. But yeah, Starlight Kid is on a roll. I like it. Okay. And now for your main event of Stardom to the World 2025. Alright, we had the World of Stardom Championship on the line. As the champion, the Phoenix Queen, Sayaka Mitani, defended against the top Gaijin, B. Priestley, who is now a Stardom full-timer, by the way, just to remind folks. Another solid match. Definitely went the distance. Match went a little over 22 and a half minutes. And like I said, this was another rematch. B had given Saya her only block match loss in the 5-Star Grand Prix. Like I said, not including the playoffs. But this was a run back. But with the red belt on the line. And back and forth, very intense, inside and outside the ring. I mean, they went inside and outside a couple of times throughout this match. So it definitely went the distance. Very enjoyable main event. And shout out to Sayaka Mitani. Like, kicking out of a Kamigoye, kicking out of a Queen's Landing. Like, impressive. But then again, B was kicking out of a bunch of stuff as well. But when it all came down to it, it took one big spinning Star Crusher to put away B. Priestley for the 1, 2, 3. Sayaka Mitani, the Phoenix Queen, still your World of Stardom champion. Of course, they both got on the mic afterwards, and it was a great match. It was a really great match. So that is successful defense number 5 for Sayaka Mitani. It's beaten Suzu Suzuki, Tam Nakano, Sayaka Kurara, Natsupoi, and now B. Priestley. And then after the match, Azumi, which remember, Azumi is the NJPW Strong Women's Champion. Azumi steps in, gets face-to-face with Sayaka Mitani, and all of a sudden, it's been confirmed that on September 27th at Korakuen Hall. Man. We're going to have a double title match. Both the World of Stardom Championship and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship will be on the line. Winner takes all. Saya Kamatani versus Azumi. Not a fan of this being a double title match. Especially considering this will be Azumi's second defense of the Strong Women's Championship. But I can only chalk it up to it meaning that it's probably going to go to a time limit draw. It has to go to a time limit draw. Like, it makes no sense for both these titles to be on the line in this match. But because that's the case, this has to go to a time limit draw. Because it would make no sense for Saya to win both those titles. Like, folks need to chill on the double title matches. Like, it's gotten ridiculous. It's gotten ridiculous. But anyway, also did a follow up with the Goddess of Stardom Tag League. So, just a FYI to go over the dates. So, with the schedule, actually, let me pull up the Stardom schedule. Because, like I said, even though Stardom to the World is their only scheduled pay-per-view for the month of September, they do have some other shows going on. They have Stardom Nighter at Korakuen Hall on September 10th, which I believe will be live streamed. Stardom in Niigata on the 13th. Stardom in Kanazawa on the 14th. Stardom in Nagano on the 15th. Stardom in Fukuyama on the 21st. Stardom in Osaka on the 23rd. The other live stream Korakuen Hall show, Stardom in Korakuen, will be on the 27th, as I mentioned. They have Stardom in Kitakami on the 28th. And Stardom in Suguru. Which that's the 29th. So those are the shows that they have for September. But some other shows that they had mentioned about, of course, they did the reminder about Stardom Crimson Nightmare 2025. That will be on November 3rd. So that will be pretty much the last big show before they start the 15th Goddess of Stardom Tag League. As I said before, that tournament starts on November 7th. And the dates that they have, mark your calendars, the dates that they have for their matches, their tournament matches. So November 7th, 8th, 9th, 12th, 13th, 15th, 16th, 23rd, 24th, hey, Thanksgiving, 26th, 28th, 29th, and then the finals will be on the 30th. So the tournament's going to last throughout the month of November. So from around that beginning time to the end of November. And then, of course, they mentioned Stardom Dream Queendom 2025, December 29th, at Ryogoku. So got that to look forward to as well. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend that in person like I did last year, but it's all good. Like I said, do plan on going back to Japan. Hopefully, Lord willing, around late September, going into October next year. Here's hoping. But got quite a bit to look forward to. And of course, they got 3 New Blood shows in October. New Blood 24 on October 4th. New Blood 25 on October 17th. and New Blood 26 on October 30th. Oh, also, which was mentioned not too long ago via press conference, Starlight Kid will be producing a 10th anniversary show, and it will be at Shinjuku Face. So, got that to look forward to. And she's going to be in a match where she's going to be teamed up with El Desperado and Dragon Kid. So, that ought to be a lot of fun. No idea who their opponents will be, but definitely a show to look forward to. Starlight Kid's 10th anniversary show. That should be a lot of fun. That will be on October 20th. So October 20th, look forward to that. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting. 3 New Blood shows in October. That's going to be very interesting. But, I mean, hey, it should be good. Should be good. Like I said, I enjoy the New Blood shows. I've watched every single one ever since #1, so I've enjoyed the New Blood shows. I do wonder if they're gonna do Stardom Gold Rush. But looking at the month of November, it looks like it's mainly just Goddess of Stardom Tag League shows. That and Crimson Nightmare for the month of November. So that's really going to be the main focus for November for Stardom, is the Goddess of Stardom Tag League. But I mean, that's understandable. I mean, when you think about it, that's understandable. But yeah, I would have thought that maybe they were going to do Stardom Gold Rush. And I guess they still could. They still could, when you think about it. But, we'll see what happens. Like I said, there's still quite a lot to look forward to, at least. So, I mean, at least there's that. There's a lot to look forward to. But I'm very excited. Very excited for what's to come for Stardom. But yeah. Anyway, that'll pretty much do it for this show, or for this episode. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. First off, let me know what you think of the returns of Dalton Castle, Riho, H.A.T.E. Let me know your thoughts there. Also, let me know your thoughts on Stardom to the World 2025. Let me know what you thought about the show. Let me know your thoughts on the winners of the 5-star awards for this year. And yeah, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Jason Ingram. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend, and I will see y'all in the next video and our live stream. Peace.